Hey, good morning, everybody. First and foremost, let me explain once again why I'm here and why I go on every morning. It's not to hear myself talk, it's to help you, give you guidance into certain stocks, option plays, market direction, tell you what I'm seeing. Let's remember, I spent years working for the hedge funds, Wall Street, banks, institutions. I manipulated the market. I'm here to share my ideas, my thoughts, and my takedown or breakdown of the market. So we're going to talk about certain stocks today. I'm going to let you know bull case, bear case scenario. We did that yesterday, and I tweeted about it, and I posted about it, and I mentioned Tesla. When Tesla broke 190, the support level was 190 and a half. When it broke 190 and a half and it went to 190, we knew it was going down to 185, 184. Guess what? Same thing is starting again this morning. So I'm going to speak about a few different stocks. I'm going to talk about the SPY and the SPY ranges today, where we could see support, where we could see resistance, and why. But first, breaking stories, okay? There was a blockade in Paris. This happened a couple of hours ago, and people took over BlackRock's offices. Next, around midnight came through, report China planning blockade around Taiwan. So let's remember, Taiwan's president came and met with the House Speaker, McCarthy, in California yesterday and was treated like royalty, as all foreign dignitaries are. China objected severely to this, and now supposedly they're planning a blockade around Taiwan, which they do from time to time. Now, that's fine on a daily, or it happens, and they do it for 3 days. That's fine. But if a war does break out and if China does attack Taiwan, it's impossible to get supplies through the blockade. And yes, I heard some analysis saying, well, Taiwan can blow up a couple of Chinese ships. Yes, it would work for a couple of days or a week, but overall, their demise and Chinese succession of Taiwan would occur. So again, that's not making me so keen on these markets, whether international markets or our markets. I mean, here's the picture of in France taking over in Paris, the breach and the BlackRock office. What's that going to do for the stock? Well, most people would say, shit, that's a bear case scenario. But to me, I'm indifferent. I'm not actually going to play BlackRock, never have. Next, I mentioned that our markets eerily sometimes follow the same patterns as the Hang Seng market. So let me show you what the Hang Seng did yesterday and what I'm expecting. I'm expecting a strong dip in our market at open. Then I'm expecting a recovery right here. Then another dip in case you didn't get out. So there are going to be multiple ways I believe our markets are going to play out today. So again, if we see a strong morning dip on open, I'm going to get into calls as soon as I see the reversal. If I miss that play and we spike up like this, then towards the top line, I will get into puts, all right? If I miss that because I'm busy, then I will get into calls again when it goes down to the bottom. But I believe we're going to see continued choppiness. I mentioned this to Discord. I mentioned this to a couple other platforms as well. But understand, when there's low volume, it's easier to manipulate the market. When there's low volume, it's easier to see a 2-point all of a sudden drop on the SPY or a 2-point spike on the SPY because the volume is so low. Now, again, I mentioned I'm going to be talking about different things. Let me just see if I have anything good stories to share today. I was looking at the downward pressure. We're looking at the gamma exposures. That kind of tells us where the SPY is going to go today. So I'm going to look at the gamma exposures. I'll point those out to Discord a little later once the market opens, because you got to see how the trading is. Now, right now, as we closed yesterday, puts outnumber calls on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, and on a daily basis. So again, there should be some more bearish pressure on the market. But let's talk about certain stocks. I rarely do this. I generally talk about the SPY. And if I am going to talk about the SPY, I'm going to talk about the ranges from the SPY for yesterday. So we'll go back to yesterday's range on the SPY real quick, and then I'll bring up Discord. I'm going to bring up a couple different stocks. But yesterday's range, 408.70, 405.88 on the low end. So do the math. Understand it's a 3-point range, extremely narrow. Some would call it an inside day. I'm looking back the 5-day chart, kind of the past 2 days have sort of been inside days. But if I'm looking at the general chart, we're either doing a cup and handle where we can push higher to 412 again today, or we're going to drop and see that 402.50. So again, your bull case scenario is, okay, overall, zoom out, bull case, market's been sold off for 2 days. People want to buy in. They're getting great deals. Bull case scenario is the SPY will push up. We're going to dip it open from 407.60 where we closed. Maybe we hit 406.60 or something to that extent, dip it open, and then we head up to 412. Your bear case scenario is market gets bought up at open. Yes, it's usually the counter case. It gets bought up. It's a bear case scenario because it gives it more room to dip. With that said, gets bought up at open. We see 410, 410.40, something over 410 just by a little bit. And then we go down and we revisit 405.88 towards the latter part of the day or the early afternoon. Again, bear case scenario, 410 going up, 405 and change going down. So if you get in at 410, 409.40, 409.90, something like that, and we go down to 405.88, good profit. If we dip at open and we hit that 406 flat level and then we push up to 412, yes, there's great opportunity to make money. Again, you have to hold on to your positions. So quick lesson for everybody there, how to improve your skills. First, you want to pick an option or a position that has more activity. If you're looking at calls or puts, let's go with AI, right? CAI is the company name. They're an AI company. They have the symbol AI. They've got, somebody came out the other day and said their accounting practices are all wrong. They lost 25%. They lost another 1.5% yesterday. It's down around, what, $21 right now? Understand, the bid and the ask spread in a stock like that is pretty wide. Why? Because it's not a heavy volume stock. So although we see crazy movement there, understand there are other stocks that you can make more money on. I'll give Netflix, for example. Netflix puts, which I entered into before close on Tuesday. Yesterday morning, I got out. I secured my 10%. Those Netflix puts that I bought in at 70 cents went down to 52. So I was down, 34% to close Tuesday, right? I bought them right at the end of the day. Wednesday, yesterday, I got that morning spike because Netflix dropped. It dropped further. Those Netflix options for 70 cents went up to $228 a piece. $228. That's over a 200% gain. What did I secure out of it? 10%. 10%. That's terrible. So again, you can make some decent trades, some bad trades. Understand your exit strategies. Coinbase. Remember, I was in Coinbase puts as well. I got in. I got out. I was in at 90 cents. I said my exit was going to be 105. What happened after I exited? They spiked up to 172. So again, in at 90 cents, spike up to 172. I left a lot on the table. Now, Nvidia, I did much better. I was in Nvidia puts. I told myself Nvidia is going down. It's going down further. It has some downward pressure on it. It spiked up too much. If you guys joined me the other day, it was up 91% on the year. It ran up to $280 from $235 in the course of like a week and a half or 2 weeks. To me, that's overbought. Now I'm going to be talking about stocks, and I'll be using Discord to talk about certain stocks. So let's bring up Tesla. Again, I brought up Tesla, and I said this is when Tesla was trading 194 and had support at the 192. The 192 dark pool level went down to 190 and 50 cents. So I'm going to bring this up on the screen, and we're going to talk about different stocks. So if you have questions, please ask them. So I'll go over to Discord. First, what I noticed the other day, this morning, is who keeps looking at stuff? Aaron J. He must have brought up about 25 different things. Why is that important? Okay, so we're talking about Aaron J. Let's go up to, where's Gains here? Let's see if Aaron J is in Gains. All right, Gains, right? Scroll down to the end here. Oh, okay. What do we see? Aaron J. He's up 24% P&L yesterday. Is that it for yesterday? There was another one. Aaron J. Nvidia calls. The next day, he's up 29%. Okay. So you guys, what I'm kind of showing you is the people that use the rooms and the channels, which we're about to do together right now, are the ones that are more successful. The ones that understand what the market is doing are the ones that are more successful. All right, so let me just make sure that was on the screen. Thank goodness it was. All right, so first thing I will go to Tesla, the dark pool, because we're going to see if Tesla can go down and how much it can drop. And we'll do this for a bunch of stocks that are on my watch list. Again, each morning I take off a couple of stocks on my watch list. So we'll blow it up nice and big so that everybody can hopefully see it as best as possible. Now, what do we see? The dark pool levels have changed a little. Here's 190 and 50 cents. Okay, so 190, 50 cents, 12 billion exposure on the dark pool level. Understand, I said if we break 190.50, we're likely to see 185. Why? Because this level was so small. So there was no question in my mind that we were dropping under it. Now we're sitting at 184, let's say pre-market. Understand, there's a ghost zone here, 4 billion, 2 billion, you're 181, 177. So on a red day, understand, Tesla can drop pretty hard. Understand that. Okay, what other stocks did I want to talk about? Well, I've got Coinbase on here. Why? I mentioned my Coinbase puts. Coinbase just looks like it's going down. Let's look at the 1 month. Again, light volume selling off. If we see a similar data yesterday, where could Coinbase go to? Great freaking question, Matt. And again, if you guys have any questions, let me know what stocks you'd like me to look at. So let's look at the dark pool levels for coin. And let's notice that support was right at the $60 level yesterday. Right at the $60 level. Unfortunately, what we're seeing here in the dark pool level is these numbers are pretty small. We saw good support, which probably turned into resistance. So if coin does pop, and again, it's at $60, I would expect it to reject 65.77, reject 63.17. This would be a great entry right here to get into puts. If the market has a strong morning and the markets go up and the SPY is sitting at 410 and Coinbase is sitting at $63.25, I would say, okay, watching the markets, if they start to turn, I know Coinbase will drop from 63 back to 60. Under that, I don't know because I don't have the dark pool levels for coin. So we'll go on to the next stock, meaning I'm not going to trade coin because under $60, it seems to have support. So again, it was a great ride down from $65 to 60. But now it's at $59.70. So again, SPY right now, just looking at it, they're buying it up. It's pre-market. I don't pay much attention. So we're sitting at 407.24. Okay, so let's talk about the SPY. All right, we're sitting at 407.24. I mentioned my predictions on the SPY today, but let's just look at the dark pool levels. Okay, 407. We're right here. Understand the next range down is 405.84. It used to be 405.50. Then you have 403.23. This used to be 402.50. So these dark pool levels, although they're small, they are moving up, which tells me we could definitely have a pop on open above the 408.44 level, and then we could sell off. So again, bear case scenarios, we're going to pop to about 410. We're not actually going to get to that 411 mark. We're going to get somewhere between 409, 410, and then we're going to drop. And when we drop, we're going to drop back to the 403.23 level or 404. So again, bear case scenario, 410 on the top side, 404 on the bottom side. Bull case scenario. Bull case scenario is we drop, we see support right around the 406 level, and then we ride that up to the 411 level. So again, bull case scenario, we drop 406, go up to 411. Bear case scenario, we go up to 410, we drop to 405. That's what I'm seeing in the market. As far as specific stocks go, let's talk about Nvidia, okay? So Nvidia, I mentioned my strategy yesterday. I was going to take profit at open. Why? Because Nvidia has a lot of freaking support. It has so many haters, but so many people that still love Nvidia. So the fact that they're buying every dip, it makes it harder for it to go down. So the fact that I was at 274 and I got out at 268 and then it went down to 265 yesterday or even 264, that's great. It's telling me Nvidia can drop as low as 258, okay? So even if today's a green day, and let's say today's green for Nvidia, or I can get back in at 272, I think Nvidia is dropping to 260, 258 in the next week or two. What would I do? How would I use that strategy? How would I implement it? Well, I say to myself, okay, first off, they were buying into Nvidia yesterday, so I want to look for the top today. If I enter in no man's land, then I'm screwing myself, and I will start out my account down 10, 20, 30, 40%. Nobody wants to start out a trade like that. So again, show patience. Show patience. Best thing I did last week, didn't trade Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or even Monday of this week. Tuesday, I made successful trades. Wednesday, I made successful trades. Today, somebody said to me, hey, are you holding any positions over this long holiday weekend? No, not me. If you're in some long positions that go out till June, May, sure, definitely. If you're scalping, if you're making day trades like I am, I want to be in, I want to be out, I want to secure profit, and I want to start my weekend out the right day. Okay, so let's see what kind of questions and comments we have, and then I'll go back to stocks. Good morning. Yep. Yeah, Hang Seng tends to follow our market. So I've always thought that it follows our market. Matt, what are you talking about? However, I've noticed, and again, I'm a numbers guy, I'm a charts guy, I'm a patterns guy. I've noticed similar patterns where the Hang Seng will do something and our markets will imitate the same pattern. So again, for those that weren't with me at the start of this, I will look at the Hang Seng. Let me just pull it up from yesterday, show you guys what I saw. It finished slightly up. They were buying. If you look at the one-day chart, what do we see? A dip at open, a spike, some meandering, and then when it finally gets to rejection level towards the top here, it goes down right there. So there are a couple of different entries. Number one, on the dip, the first dip, you can get in calls, right? Then you let it ride up. You sit on the sidelines for an hour. You take the profit when it keeps rejecting the top. When it rejects the top, you can get into puts. All right. So I used to think that way. Sometimes it's true. Other times Hang Seng leads the way, and our markets copy it almost to a T. It's almost like a cheat code. You expect a dip before 10 due to Fed Bullard speaking. Yeah, I mean, there are Fed speakers every day. Again, it depends how the market is reacting and what these speakers say. If they talk about geopolitical issues and they talk about inflation and the worries of oil and things of that nature, it's one thing. By the way, the markets dropped yesterday. Why? Because JOLTS numbers, right? The jobs numbers, the job openings numbers came down substantially. What does that imply? It implies we're in recession, whether people want to acknowledge it or not. I expect same as the last 2 days, 0.5% downs, lows. Yeah, totally. And then you had some guy trying to attack Trump yesterday when he was speaking someplace. All right, somebody actually brought up some stocks that we want to look at. Okay, CAT and DE, what is that? Deere, John Deere. I don't follow these two companies anymore. Why? Because they're very expensive. Options are very expensive. Most of our platform are newer traders that we're trying to teach how to trade, what to look at, how to use the flow and algos rooms, give some guidance. So these are expensive options. If I look at the 1 month of John Deere, I mean, it got wrecked the past 2 days. So if I was to know why it got wrecked the past 2 days on heavy selling, I know they had their ex-dividend, but I don't know any other reasoning behind it. I definitely would not jump in because you could see 4 days like this. And if you see 4 straight days, understanding when you see that we broke through a downward level, if anything, John Deere is still bearish. I don't care if it pops a little today on a dead cat bounce, but it is definitely bearish. When I go back the 1 year, you can see at the end, there's a possibility that we could ride this back down to $320, which would still be 15% more lower, especially if we're going into recession. John Deere is more of like a homestay, and Caterpillar, same kind of thing. 263 on the high. We're back down to what? 213 today. I would rather look at other stocks if I'm going to play Dow-related stocks like Boeing, okay? We had the news the other day where oil skyrocketed 7% because they were cutting 160 barrels a day. Now, it doesn't affect airlines right now because they basically buy futures contracts for oil. But if oil stays where it is or goes up over the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, who's going to get hurt? The entire airline sector, because they're going to have to pay more for their future contracts of gas. All right. Good morning. Let's see. How would I play Tesla with it dropping to the low 180s? Again, Chaz, I was thinking about Tesla. What was it? Was it Monday or was it Tuesday? It was earlier in the week. I think it was Monday, and then I didn't play it. It will drop Tuesday, same thing, Wednesday. If you have to play Tesla, again, we missed the perfect opportunity for entry. But I'm just going to look at the chart right here. I'm going to break it down to a 5-day chart. We're at the low right now. I'm going down to the 1 month chart. So the 1 month chart tells me, and my memory tells me, that I remember Tesla had support right at the 177, 178 range. So again, I want to make sure, here's my first cheat code. All right. I want to make sure you see a yellow bar or a red bar at 10 a.m. on Tesla. That means there's more outflow than inflow. If I see that, and if Tesla could even be higher, it could be 185, 186, 187, there could still be more outflow. It just means people are selling at the bid price. If I have stock and I'm waiting for people to pay my ask, then that's green. That's inflow because they're buying the ask. If I'm selling at the bid and I have stock, that's red. That's how you determine outflow versus inflow. Stocks can go up 30%, but there could be a ton of outflow because I keep selling at the bid. So it's outflow, outflow, outflow. Stock keeps going higher, higher, higher. All right, so yeah, Tesla on the downside, yeah, I'm seeing 178. And if the markets are a little red today and we revisit 405 on the SPY, which is only, 3 points lower, less than 1% lower, then yeah, I happen to think Tesla's going to drop another 3% today. If they decide to buy up Tesla, now they do that. You'll see a bunch of red days towards the bottom right there. And what do you see? 2 inflow days and Tesla skyrocketing. So Tesla's dangerous. You want to make sure you see the pattern develop first before you jump into Tesla. If Tesla drops and you're like, oh, I'm buying puts, and then all of a sudden it just reverses and goes back to where the starting point was of 186, then you're totally screwed. Not only are you missing out on time, but you're getting crushed. All right, let's check out some Rivian. Rivian's on my list, but I really don't like to play it. Why? Because I see some massive moves higher and massive moves lower, which I disagree. And when I look at volume of Rivian, here you can just see where the volume is. See these big lines? Where towards the beginning right there. Okay, that's some steady volume, steady outflow. We had a bit of a rebound, and then we rebounded almost on no volume. So again, Rivian's going to follow the market. Rivian's like Upstart, Affirm, Roblox. It's more of a spec play in the tech sector because it doesn't bring in the money. They don't bring in the money. So again, as Tesla gets hurt, I would rather be short Lucid than I would Rivian. What else we got? Hey, thanks, Matt. Good luck today, bro. Yep. Again, it's not, I appreciate the good luck, but it's not about luck. What's worked for me lately? It's just showing patience. I am so eager, and I bet you guys are eager to trade. Market opens at 9:30. What am I going to do? What's going up? Oh my God, it dropped. Should I buy it now? Am I in puts or calls? If you're asking yourself whether it be in puts and calls and you're looking at a single stock, then you should not be making a trade in that stock. If you don't know in advance, you either want puts because you know it's going down or you want calls because you believe it's going higher. If you're looking at a stock on market open, you're going, oh shit, it's spiking. I'm going to try some puts or I'm going to have some calls. And my example will be McDonald's. McDonald's hits a new high every day. We had someone on our Discord, Edie, who said, hey, can I get into McDonald's puts? They're kind of frothy. No, you have to see some type of turnaround first. Let's talk about Nvidia with me. I wanted to be in Nvidia puts since Nvidia was 250, but I didn't get in. 250, 260, 265, 270, 275. I was like jumping at it. I'm foaming at the mouth to get into Nvidia puts. But what did I do? I waited till end of day. What was it? Monday, when Nvidia was $280. And I'm like, all right, these are puts now. It's got to be puts. And let's remember, those puts returned 158%, 216%. So everything's about timing. If you get on the wrong side of McDonald's, you're like, I got to buy puts. Well, if you're going out till June, okay. If you're going out till the end of next week, that's a terrible idea because McDonald's can go up 2%. If it goes up at all, your puts are toasted. All right. Your puts are McFlurried. Speaking of McFlurried, I'm drinking this Prime shit. Man, this is good stuff. I didn't think it would be. I bought it for my daughters, but it's delicious. It's like Gatorade on steroids. All right. Greetings. Around what time do you think would be a good time to? Okay, it's not a timing thing, but for someone that's asking about the time schedule, I've mentioned this before. This is how I follow the market. 9:30 to 10:30, okay? I'm watching the market play out. I don't want to jump in any positions unless I know I'm getting A+ entry and I have a great strategy. So 9:30 to 10:30, I do nothing. Also, market's volatile. So you'll see a drop, then you'll see a spike, then you'll see a dip. So it's fooling unless you, again, have an A+ game plan set up. Then I watch from 10:30 to about 11:11. That'll tell me market direction for the remainder of today. We might go up from 10:30 to 11:11 and then drop hard. But I know since we were there and we were on the way up from 10:30, we are going to recover. So again, that helps me pick strategy. But as far as a specific time to enter a position, you got to watch it. If the market dips hard off some news or spikes off some news, you got to understand why. So it's important, and you want to watch volume. Another tip about the SPY, right? I know he mentioned SPX, but if you look at the SPY, at 10 a.m., if you're talking about under 10 million in volume, it's a light volume day. At 10 a.m., if you're talking about 15, 16, 18, 19 million, then you're a stronger volume day. Then you're more apt to follow the momentum. Light volume day, I'm like, be careful. In fact, expect the opposite. When the SPY was spiking over 408.50, I mentioned to Discord, I'm like, today's extremely light. Expect huge dips and huge spikes. What did we see? Huge dip. What did we see 2 minutes later? Huge spike, like a fake recovery, and then it dipped even harder yesterday. So again, pay attention to volume. All right, Microsoft. Again, Microsoft, I follow it because it's one of the larger tech companies. But if I had to look at Microsoft and what Microsoft would potentially do, I'm going to check out the net flow and the algo flow. So first thing I'll do is I'll check out the, let's see if there's flow sum for Microsoft. Okay, too early in the morning for that. So let's check out the net flow for Microsoft, and then we'll check out the algo flow for Microsoft. See if there's any divergence. When there's divergence, that's a good thing because it tells you that we're going to meet up in a specific area. So what am I going to do first? Well, I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to look at the net premiums. So net premiums, puts are still much more expensive than calls. Calls look like they want to dip under the zero line for net premiums, which means I'm more bearish. I'm still going to be bearish on this, looking at that for Microsoft. If I'm bearish on Microsoft, then I'm probably bearish on the Qs as well. When I look at price action, right, versus the algos are up here. I was telling you, blah, blah, blah. Differential right here. What's likely to happen? They're likely to meet somewhere and crossover like they did here or crossover like they did here. It could take a day. It could take half a day, but there's a chance they cross over at 283, 283.50. There's a chance they cross at 282. Either way you look at it, if I look at the price of Microsoft, and let's see what it's doing pre-market, I don't really pay much attention, but I will look at it. Microsoft, bum, bum. 2 outflow days, 282, almost 283 this morning. So yeah, where's it likely to cross? Well, it's already down there, so we'll have to see. But then I'm going to look at the dark pool entry. Dark pool, right? Levels, Microsoft. Let's take a look. Again, this is if I wanted to trade Microsoft today, this is what I would be doing. So I see it's at 284.34 close. It's at 282 and change this morning. So 284.34. I'm looking at this level right here. 283.64. So understanding that if Microsoft go down and it loses this support right here and this support right here, same $3 billion levels, that I could see Microsoft on a red day going to 278 flat, 278.22, something like that. Larger dark pool level. I wouldn't see it dropping under there. You need consecutive red days. You need a bunch of them. But I mean, it's still a good drop. If you're 284 and you drop to 278, that's 6 points. Last day of expirations. You could take a flyer on this. Again, if Microsoft was to spike out of open, as soon as I saw rejection, I would get into puts. If Microsoft dips out of open, then I'm staying away from it because I already know it's bearish. So that's how I do things, strategy right there. Let's just see. Okay. Oh, what's up, buddy? Yeah, I remember your Lulu. Lulu, I made some good going up. I'm looking to ride it down. Any chance it comes back down? I'm looking. All right. So again, I wish I could pull it up for you guys here, but for me, I'd have to exit out of Discord. I'd have to pull something up. So I will look at Lululemon. I think this is the same gentleman that had Lulu when it was spiking up 25 points overnight. So let's get rid of Discord right now. Let's just put my ugly face on. All right. So the first thing I noticed about Lulu is I'm going to look at this. So I see volume on earnings spike up, outflow though. What were they doing? They were selling as the stock was going up. Then it consolidated. Then you had 3 mini days of buying, 1 day of outflow. Understand this chart kind of reminds me of Salesforce. Salesforce spiked after earnings, came down 4 or 5 straight days, popped a little, and then came down more. So yeah, I think you could fade Lulu. I think you could fade Lulu somewhere in between 364 where it is now, and I would probably exit out somewhere in the 340 range. So again, 20 points might be a 7%. Again, you would need multiple bad days in the market to get 7%, probably 2 days. Banking stocks. Would I buy any banking stocks? This is Wells Fargo. Me, personally, if I'm going to buy a banking stock, it's not going to be Wells Fargo. It's not going to be any banking stocks because what do I actually expect? I actually expect us to go into recession. I expect another 1 or 2 major banks to go under. I don't know. I shorted Deutsche Bank at $10.28 with a couple of thousand shares. I'm expecting Deutsche Bank to go down to 0. I worked for them at one point. They acquired another company. They sold off part of the business. That was years ago, but it was never well run. So yeah, I expect the banking industry to struggle. I would not be involved in any banking stocks right now. That's just me. If you see a sector rotation, you might want to look at energy. Oh, we're a little late for energy. You might want to look at healthcare. Johnson & Johnson spiking the past couple of days. United Health Group, UNH. Institutions love that. It's an extremely expensive stock. All right. Do I believe there is a rally in the markets in April? Do I believe the markets will rally in April? I think we're in a bear market. I think we're just ending a bit of a bull cycle. I think we have to pull back in order to go higher. I do believe recession's coming. I don't know what's going on in Paris, but they're attacking the office. We have Donald Trump who's going to be brought up on charges, and I heard these charges aren't so bad. However, they're talking to Mike Pence, his former VP, and Pence is going to testify about what happened on January 6th, and that could really get him in trouble. And if that does, not a supporter or don't hate Trump or anything like that, but it will cause turmoil in America. It will cause turmoil in the markets. It's a geopolitical move. Oh, shit. Hey, Matt, did I enter SPY? I entered SPY puts the other day, but let's remember, I was in and out, and I mentioned when we were dropping from 412 that I would be out at 408 because I believe there was support. Now that 408 number, which was support, has turned into rejection. So 408, 408.50 is going to be a key level. If you see the SPY at 409 today, understand it's going up to 411. If you see it at 409 at any time today, it's going to hit 411. Similarly, if you don't see 409, you see 408.50, 408.44 is the top. Understand we're going down to 404. It's a great, easy cheat code. What do we got? Hi, Matt. Did you enter SPY puts yesterday? If so, what was my strategy? SPY puts, was it yesterday or was it the day before? No, yesterday I did not trade SPY puts. Yesterday I was exiting out of all of my put positions. So the day before I played SPY puts twice. Again, you want to make sure. Here's a great another cheat code for everybody, okay? You put down whatever options you wanted to buy into on your watch list. You follow them for a day. I had coined $60 puts up there for a week and a half. I realized that 90 cents, 80 cents was great entry. $1.27, $1.35 was a great exit. These are the ones I got in at 90 cents, sold at $1.05, then it went up to $1.72. So Cisco, I don't have any thoughts on Cisco right now. I could quickly look at the chart for you, but I'll tell you, I haven't followed Cisco. Same way, I only followed Intel at 27 when I said it could pop up to 33. Now that it's at 33, 32, I want nothing to do with it. Cisco, Intel, Nvidia. If I'm going to play something, I'm going to play AMD. I'm going to play Nvidia. I'm either going to play I'm going to follow the momentum. So yeah, no, I can't tell you anything about Cisco. They had X dividend. Don't know. Yes, anybody for our link to Discord? It's right there. Romeo's going live this morning, doing live trading at 10:30 today. SPY predictions today. Again, I'll give them one more time. This is the third time I'm doing it. But we're going to see either, this is your bear case scenario, spike on open, hit 410, reject, and go down to 405, okay? You have to look at volume when we reject or when we find support. That's your bull case. Bull case is we're going to drop. You're going to find that same support, whether it's at 407 flat or 406 flat, wherever that is. If we find support at 407, 406, and we get that recovery, we're going to hit that 410, 411 number. So we might dip only to go up, or we might spike only to drop. That's what my strategy is today. That's exactly what I'm expecting, okay? If we spike in the morning, spike to 9:50, 10 a.m., I'm going to look at volume. Once we reject, if that rejection level is a dark pool level, then I will get into SPY puts. Same on the counter side. If we dip and we find support and I see volume increasing and I say, oh, we're increasing right on the dark pool level, that's going to act as support. I will get into calls and ride it up. With that said, heading over to Discord, I'm going to mention two different stock plays that I'm looking at today, or two different option plays. I'm not calling them lotto because I will buy out till next Friday. I'll give myself the extra time, but I do think these stocks will move in the right direction that I think they will move in today. So I'll share those. That's what my Discord's video is going to be about. Come and join us. Romeo's going live at 10:30, and I'll see everybody. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the holidays tomorrow. Casino closed.